The marine strong wind advisory for the Manukau and Waitemata harbours, the Hauraki Gulf and Breamhead to Cape Colville. A northeasterly of 20 gusting 30, rising to 25, hitting 40 to 45 this evening. The next high tide at Auckland is coming up this morning at 20 to midday, and for Unihunga it's 2:30 this afternoon. Cloudy for Auckland with isolated showers, then rain this evening, possibly heavy. Northerlies, briefly gale in exposed places this evening, gusting 110 k's. We're after 21 this afternoon, dropping back to 15 tonight. Tomorrow, mainly fine. Chance of a shower until afternoon with a high of 20, low 13 tomorrow night. Right now, 19 degrees.
Talkback with Christopher Luxon on Kerre Woodham Mornings with pinnaclelife.co.nz. Easy online life insurance. Call 0800 80 1080. Newstalk ZB.
Right, you are 183 sleeps till election 2026. What, you're looking forward to it, are you? Are you looking forward to... We've got the Prime Minister in studio. There we go. Have we got the... There we go. There we go. Thank you, Andy. 183 sleeps till the election. It doesn't seem 3 years that we were sitting here while you were campaigning.
Gee, it goes fast, doesn't it?
Yeah, really fast.
These 3-year terms in New Zealand are pretty short, and there's a lot to do still.
Yeah, there's as much to do as when you were campaigning, saying there's a lot to do.
Well, there is. There's so much that we can do to improve this country. We've got so much great potential in it, and it's important that we solve the problems and get on with it.
Potential. But, you promised, was the economy stupid? You said, get us in here, we're the grown-ups, we'll fix it. Nobody feels fixed.
Well, look, no, I get it. People have been really dealing with the cost of living. We're all over it. Let's be clear. We've had COVID, we've had weather events, we've had Trump's tariffs, we've had now an oil crisis.
Excuses from the last.
No, I'm not saying they are excuses, but I'm just saying those are the cards that we've been dealt with, and we have to do the right thing and work our way through each of those things. They're incredibly frustrating. We're all tired, we're all over it, and we're all grumpy about it. I get it. But my job is to make sure I get New Zealand through this latest set of crisis, which is around the fuel crisis in particular.
The borrowings, your government's borrowing more than Labour ever did.
Yeah, what we have to do is find the right balance where we actually need to continue to support New Zealanders with really good public services. And you could say, on one hand, I could go cut all this cost out and put New Zealand into what we call austerity, and that would make New Zealand go backwards.
A Ruth Richardson style budget.
Equally, you could carry on doing what Labour proposed, which is spend more, tax more, borrow more, and just crank it up. But actually, we've used up the rainy day fund and we've maxed out the credit cards, and now the international folk are saying you've got to be a bit careful about all of that. So we've found a middle way through, which is to say, look, we're going to keep making savings in the back office of the government and put that money into the front office. That's why we've got 2,000 more nurses. That's why we've got 600 more doctors, a lot of those good things.
And you have to borrow to pay for those.
Yeah, but also we're bending the borrowing down as a percentage of the economy. That's really the pathway that we've got to get on to, because one of the big lessons is that, you can spend up big time like you saw in COVID, but then you have a lot of long-term pain and you actually have a massive hangover after the big party. And we have been probably the second worst economy in the Western world. What was so much money was spent during COVID. Now we've got such a big hangover and we've been so slow coming out of it all. And that's what we've been wrestling with the last 2 years. High inflation, high interest rates, negative growth.
There's been a lot of talk about a grand coalition, because I think people realise that ideology is a luxury we simply don't have. We need, if you politicians who say that you go into politics for the good of the country really mean that, you would work together to get us out of the crap.
Well, I'll just say there's 3 things about the Grand Coalition. One is Labour didn't deliver anything in that 6-year period. We've got real issues with their ability to deliver.
They delivered houses.
Well, did they? They actually drove up house prices 30% in a single year. The rents went up $180 a week, and there was actually...
But they did actually...
A lot more people on State House wait list, all that sort of stuff. And we've actually, I'll put our record on housing up against theirs any day. Okay. But I just say delivery's a problem. They want to tax more, spend more, borrow more. And then thirdly, they haven't even supported the basic stuff where we've tried to reach out with them on bipartisanship, education, infrastructure plans, gang patches, all those things they just haven't supported. Even low, tax relief for low and middle income working New Zealanders, they didn't support that. So I was clear at the beginning of the year to say, look, I think the only answer is you've got to get a national-led government. That's why I'll make the case all the way through the year about, 2 ticks blue. I've said if push comes to shove, I can work with ACT and New Zealand First, as I've demonstrated over the last few years, but I'm not working with Labour, Te Pāti Māori or the Greens.
Not even on coming together on specific policy?
Well, we'll continue to do that. I mean, on education, we reached out to Labor to talk about, hey, we should make education a New Zealand thing, not a party thing.
What about super? Because we've been talking about that.
Superannuation, we'd love to talk to them about that, particularly about lifting the age requirement, lifting the contribution rates. There's a lot of things that we could do there. So we'll
Chris
keep reaching
Hipkins
out about
said
that.
He would be open to talking about the superannuation.
Great, and we look forward to that because certainly Labor and New Zealand First have been against lifting the retirement age to the level that you see in other countries.
How far do you trust Winston?
Well, look, I've been able to work with him. I trust him inside a coalition-led government that's actually about that's led by the national piece.
On the radio, but Christopher Luxon is smiling from ear to ear.
But as a party, he'll make his own decision about ultimately, who he wants to go with after an election. But I've said I can work with him, and I've demonstrated I can do that.
Do you believe that if you get 36 and Labor gets 36 in the election, that Winston Peters is yours and yours alone, or do you think he's going to be going where the best?
I wouldn't. History would say that's something that is. Winston will have his own views on that ultimately, and that's why I say if you don't want to put it at risk, you got to vote National.
Anna asks, has the government considered passing legislation to freeze MPs' pay during this cost of living and fuel crisis? If not, why not?
Look, the real problem with that is that if you have MPs or Prime Ministers determining people's pay in terms and conditions in Parliament, that's not what you want. You don't want MPs anywhere near their pay terms conditions. So we put that into an independent remuneration authority. They make those decisions, and I think that's the way it should be, at arm's length, because as soon as you do that, what you then encounter is what happened last time, was then all of a sudden there's a massive increase at some point down the road, rather than letting an independent body make those decisions.
Where are we? Stop saying actually, they're saying. We still have a big shortage of nurses. Wait 5 weeks to get a doctor's appointment. Nurses in Whanganui have been waiting 2 years for their pack pay and still haven't got it.
Well, we have actually hired 2,100 extra nurses than what we had just 24 months ago when we came to power. We put a big focus on that. We're actually supporting our nurses to go on and become nurse prescribers, nurse practitioners, so they can do more of the tasks of GPs, and we're actually supporting young people to carry on with that study. We've actually put more investment into the GP practice than any government. We've put $175 million, another 14% increase into the payments to GPs. We've opened up 24/7 digital health. We've said to people we should have 12-month prescriptions, so you don't go back to the doctor every 3 months, clogging up the system just to get a repeat prescription, so that we can actually see more people. So I think there's a lot of work that we are doing in primary care. We know that that's where we want to put more of our investment, and so we want to see nurses, and we've opened up a third medical school. We're building that right now, and that's designed to get doctors out into the regional New Zealand. We've said to people that are in New Zealand that have been qualified as doctors from overseas that actually we can accelerate your conversion course, and we've actually got a number of doctors into GP practices already. So there's a lot more for us to do, I get it, but you've actually got to get a system response and a change to how we get more people having access to GPs.
I've started with questions. Feel free to put yours to the Prime Minister, who is yours, for the next 45 minutes. 0800 80 10 80 is the number to call. 0800 80 10 80.
Thinking of selling your business? Think Barker Business Brokerage. Go to barkerbusiness.co.nz. Licensed REAA 2008.
Fall in love with your home again with an ANZ Reno loan. A home loan top-up of up to $50,000 at just 2.5% per annum, fixed for 3 years. Minimum 20% equity eligibility, lending rules, terms and fees apply. Available for a limited time. ANZ, we do how.
Getting the right heater for your room can make a real difference this winter. The right size, type and placement all affect how comfortable you feel without using more energy than you need. Search EECA, that's EECA, Get Winter Ready.
Do you love the sound of saving up to $1,000 on selected hearing devices? Triton Hearing's incredible limited time sale on state-of-the-art hearing tech is on now. Call 0800 45 45 42. T's and C's apply.
Get it sorted with Cheap As Deals. Grab a hot deal with over 30% off selected Nuvo hot water bottles, now just $9. And 10 centimetre Flora Viva flower plants, now only $2.50 each. Limited stock, Cheap As Deals. End Sunday at Mitre 10.
My children asked if I've made any new friends lately, so I told them about Barb and Nigel. We met on a course and found we have so much in common. Barb is a volunteer and Nigel, well, he's a board director, but mostly he made us laugh. We argued passionately about the future of AI and who had better grandkids. We had to agree to disagree. Love Heart, social learning for people with better things to do than slow down. Courses, adventures and lunches that feed your mind. Find us at heart.co.nz because sharp minds don't retire.
Cairns and the Great Barrier Reef are calling with Hello World Travel. With the Great Barrier Reef and wet tropics rainforest side by side, tropical North Queensland is unlike anywhere else in the world. Your dream trip awaits, where you'll feel great and leave greater. Explore ancient rainforests, remarkable wildlife and vibrant reefs wrapped in effortless luxury. Whether you're looking for a family getaway or a luxurious retreat, let's plan your next adventure. Contact your local Hello World store today or visit helloworld.co.nz.
Visit the Yamaha team at the Hutch Wilco New Zealand Boat Show from the 14th to the 17th of May at Auckland Showgrounds. Talk to the experts and get advice on powering your new boat. Showcasing the Yamaha outboard range, wave runner and show-stopping offers. Buy your tickets before Monday 11 May to save $5 off the gate price at boatshow.co.nz. Yamaha, the trusted name and reliability and innovation on the water.
Inside the Game with Rugby Direct.
On the latest Rugby Direct podcast, Steve Lancaster confirmed as the new New Zealand Rugby Chief Executive. We give our reaction. Cam Roigard out for the Hurricanes for a few weeks. Is that the Kane train derailing? We debate this week on Rugby Direct.
Rugby Direct. Listen now on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts. Powered by Newstalk ZB.
Newstalk ZB, it is 10:17. Prime Minister Christopher Luxon is in studio. Wendy, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Kerry. Good morning, Chris.
G'day, Wendy. How are you?
Very good, thanks.
Good.
Listen, one question I've got for you. So one criticism you often get is that you're more of a CEO than a traditional politician. Coming from the corporate world myself, I actually see the strengths in that, building teams, delegating well and keeping coalition partners together. But politics isn't business. What's the biggest thing you've had to learn that surprised you about leading a country versus leading a company?
What a great question. This is an awesome question, Wendy. I love this one.
I was going to ask exactly that. It must be a hell of a lot easier being a CEO than a Prime Minister.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, they're completely different jobs, and Wendy's exactly right. They're actually, I feel like I was really good at playing rugby, and now I've had to come and play soccer. Do you know what I mean? They're actually different games. But there are things, Wendy, that are common to both of them, as you understand. Actually, how do you get the best out of the talent that you've got in the team that you've got? And that is about putting the right people on the right assignment at the right time with enough clarity, but also support, but also challenge at times as well. And I think that skill set has actually been very useful coming into this job. The bit that's challenging is obviously everything you're doing is in front of the public and the media all the time. And for someone who's not a career politician, I came here 4 or 5 years ago into the job. And I came because I really think actually there's a lot of skills that actually are needed that come from that CEO kind of world. Like we need to execute and to manage things better than what we've been doing. But I fully admit, they're two different tasks, and there is a lot of things that are common around leadership and how you get your team built and how you get them performing. That's very, very common and very familiar. But the other bits are certainly that 24/7. You make mistakes in front of the media, you don't get it right all the time, you don't express yourself perfectly, in my case in sound bites, and I promise you I probably will carry on expressing myself imperfectly going forward as well, and I apologise for that up front. But I think at this time, actually someone who understands the economy and commercials, as hard as that is, as frustrating as it is for everybody, is actually what New Zealand needs right now.
Any comments?
Yes, you just got to... I guess you've got to get that projected across to the public. I understand what you're doing, and I get it, right? But there's so many that don't,
yes.
And I'd hate to see a change. You've got a great team of people around you. And you've got great negotiation skills, all of that side of things, which is what we need right now. And I think you're managing the fuel crisis excellently.
Oh, thank you.
But people want to create. They don't trust it. They want it to be, a big issue for us, right? But it's managed smoothly.
Yes.
And there is no issue, but people try and make an issue. The whole tall poppy syndrome a little bit. But yeah, people just need to relax. But anyway, look, keep up the good work, and look, yeah, come November, let's hope well,
I appreciate the encouragement, Wendy. It's very kind of you to call in.
You sound more hopeful than expectant, though, Wendy.
But no, look,
yeah,
Wendy,
I'm not sure.
I just say to you, look, I know it's been a really tough time for New Zealand. We've gone through all these, frustrations, whether it's pandemics, weather events, Trump tariffs, war in Iran now. And it's so frustrating because we all want to get back to sort of a normal life as such. But we just need to manage our way through these crises. And I still feel 24 months into the job, I am a born optimist. I think New Zealand has a fantastic future, and even though the world is more volatile and it's more uncertain, there's no reason we can build a really awesome country. And in fact, the response to the international crisis is to strengthen what we're doing here at home and build a good economy, build a better energy strategy, make sure we've got more social cohesion, a whole bunch of things that we've got to get into work and do.
If you were a CEO and not a Prime Minister, what would you do with your coalition government members?
Well, the benefit of being a CEO...
There's another grin.
Well, the benefit of being a CEO is you get to choose the team that you are working with. In politics, you go to war with the army you're given. And, the New Zealand people vote for, members of parliament. And then my job is to actually fashion a team out of that and to make it work. And, I spend a lot of my time actually with my individual ministers, talking about what their agenda is, what they're trying to achieve, pushing them, challenging, supporting them when they're often under fire from the media or from others. But my job is to make it work and to full a team. And I'm proud of, we've actually provided stable government in a three-party coalition.
Yes.
Where most people would have said, you might have said to me even at the very beginning, this won't last.
I did not.
A lot of people did. And we've actually made it work very well because we're united on some common ground. There are differences for sure, and we'll differ where we must. And you've seen some of that in the last few weeks.
But even within your own party, if you're a CEO, would you have fired the disloyal little oiks that... were making rumblings and making life difficult?
Well, I think we dealt with that in the last few weeks, but we have a pretty good team, and I'm proud of the fact that when you look at what the tasks we've given Erica, say, on education, when I think about the work that Nicola's doing on fixing the economy, when I look at what Simeon's doing on healthcare, Chris Bishop on infrastructure.
Who are basically taking the headlines away from the good work that's being done. That must be really annoying.
Well, look, I think we've dealt with that, but I think what I'm focused on is actually, have to be focused on the future because the media may want to talk about all that stuff, but the New Zealand public don't want to talk about that stuff.
It'd just be so much easier to sack them, wouldn't it?
Well, the point is I have to go to war with the army I've got. I think I'm proud of the team that we've built, and I think everyone's making great contributions.
And you're sticking very nicely to the script. Newstalk ZB 1023.
Your furry friend deserves the very best. Exactly what you'll find at Louie and Phoebe Pet Boutique. Get ready for cooler winter walks with gorgeous gold paw stretch fleeces, plus warm waterproof raincoats. Luxurious dog beds and blankets to keep your pet cozy and comfortable. And try their natural New Zealand-made dog food with carefully selected ingredients to support dogs with allergies and sensitive skin. Visit Louie and Phoebe Pet Boutique in St Heliers or shop online at louieandphoebe.com because your dog deserves the very best.
Leicester's From About Health.
Hi, it's Tony, CEO of About Health, home of Leicester's Oil. We're celebrating 20 years of helping Kiwis stay well. And to mark the occasion, we're giving away a luxury escape to Queenstown. Buy any bottle of Leicester's Oil and be in to win. Join thousands of New Zealanders who trust Leicester's Oil. Call 0800 999 309 today.
Leicester's From About Health.
Terms and conditions apply. Always read the label and take as directed. About Health Auckland, the home of Leicester's Oil.
Kindly enter your 5-digit PIN number now. Sorry, the number you entered is incorrect. Please try again. Please try again.
You'll remember hundreds of passcodes throughout your life. But do you know the numbers that help unlock life? Your blood pressure numbers. Get yours from a doctor, nurse or pharmacist, or visit heartfoundation.org.nz for more information.
Thank you.
John, if your washing machine could think for itself, would you trust it?
Depends what it's thinking about.
The Fisher & Paykel 11 kg front loader at Magnus Benro has active intelligence. It works out how much detergent to use, adjusts the wash time and picks the right setting.
So it just decides?
It decides.
What do I actually have to do?
Put the clothes in.
That's it?
That's it. All for just $1,799.
Magnus Benro, 100% worried about what the machines are plotting next.
For a limited time, Lexus of Auckland City will contribute $3,000 towards your deposit on the new RX and NX 450h Plus Limited and F Sport. Terms apply. Lexus of Auckland City, Newmarket and at giltrap.com. We love cars.
Here's one for your diary. Somerset's Auckland Wide Open Day is on Sunday, the 17th of May. So if you're curious about retirement village living, don't wonder. Come have a wander. It was my first step. Learn more at somerset.co.nz.
The Prime Minister on Kerre Woodham Mornings with Pinnacle Life's multi-award-winning life insurance online advice tool. Call 0800 80 1080. Newstalk ZB.
Mike, a very good morning to you.
Yeah, g'day. How's it going?
Good.
G'day, Mike.
Yeah, g'day. How's it going?
Good, mate.
Yeah, I was just back with that other caller saying that you just have to try and get the general public on board with the explaining of some of your policies and what you're trying to do. I think she's spot on there. I think he's doing a great job. It's just trying to explain to the half of the population that just don't get it.
Yeah. No. Welcome to my challenge, my friend.
Yeah. And another thing is as well on calling out Labor's crap policies as well.
Yep.
One of them is like the capital gains tax. Yeah, I'm a landlord and I've got 3 rentals and I'm up to my eyeballs on debt on them, on all 3. But the capital gains tax, I could take that or leave it, whatever. But what I can't take is not being able to the tax deductibility on the interest.
Yep.
So if they were to come back in, I'd have to sell all 3 of them because I wouldn't be able to afford to keep them. 2 of them have got beneficiaries in there. They'll become the government's problem and then they'll have to put them up.
Yep. And that's exactly right, mate, because essentially under Labor, rents went up $180 a week. And why did that happen was because landlords were disincentivised from actually putting their properties onto a market, exactly as you've just said. And so these guys, if they get back in, they are going to impose a capital gains tax. They are going to reverse interest deductibility. They will, move back the bright line test. And, when they are in partnership with Chloe and the Greens, they're going to look at trust tax. They're going to look at wealth taxes. They're going to look at income tax and corporate tax going up as well. They want, $88 billion of new taxes is what the Greens are saying. And you can't tell me that they won't influence that if that was a coalition. So, but you're exactly right. Since we actually put interest deductibility back in place, which is a legitimate business expense that you can do in any other business across the economy and around the world, lo and behold, rents have been stable. In fact, I think they came down about $5 a week. So that's really good proposition for the rental part of the market for housing. And so I'm proud of that. And but you watch, they'll reverse all of that. But the question is, how are they going to pay for it? How are they going to pay for interest deductibility? How are they going to pay for, all the things they're talking about when we've already maxed out the credit card and the debt's pretty high? We spent $10 billion on interest payments on the debt that New Zealand owns. That is 5 Dunedin hospitals every year I don't get to build as a consequence of that.
Did you have a follow-up, Mike?
Yeah. So I was just wondering, is there any way you can communicate to the Labor voters? Because a lot of those voters would rent houses.
Yeah.
And I don't think they realise that their rent's going to go up and they're voting Labor.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what happened last time with the removal of interest deductibility. And it was plain to see, why would you as a landlord put your money into, your investment money into a property to put it onto a rental market when you actually can't deduct interest deductibility like you can with it? You'd be better to go buy another business or do something else. Yep. So then we have a real pressure problem in that part of the market, and that puts more people onto the State House wait list, which is exactly what happened. It went from 6,500 up to 27,000 of people on the State House wait list because rents had got $180 extra a week and too expensive. And so you get all these flow-on effects into ultimately people in emergency housing and homelessness ultimately.
Good. Thank you very much, Mike. Going into the news headlines, are you going to raise the age of eligibility for super?
Well, I think there's a really good conversation we need to have on superannuation.
We've been conversing for generations.
We have, and so here's what we need to do. One is we actually do need to lift the retirement age from 65 to 67.
Bill English was going to do it.
It's unworkable, it's unaffordable. Secondly, we're actually living 4 years longer than we were in 2005.
We know all that. So are you going to raise it?
Well, I want to do that, but I need Labor and I need New Zealand First to come on board with that. And if you talk about bipartisanship, that's a good start to the superannuation conversation. Secondly, we need to lift retirement contributions. I want to make sure that we get to 12% by 2032.
Don't we have to lift productivity if we do that?
Well, we do, and we're working hard on that in terms of there's 5 things we've got to do to lift productivity. But first and foremost, we've got to make sure that people have good retirement savings and incomes, and that creates more capital in New Zealand that can be invested in infrastructure projects here as well. So you've seen us lift, contribution rates from 3 to 3.5, pathway to 4, and then we want to bring that out to 12% by 2032. Combination of employer and employee contributions.
When do you imagine the retirement age slowly increasing? Bill English had a good plan for it. It would have been in place in 2017.
Jim Bolger did it actually in 1995. Yep. They lifted it from 60 to 65 over 10 years. Well, we would want to do it as soon as we get back in the second term, but for that to happen, for me to pass that legislation, I need other parties to come on board and say that's a good idea too.
So you will put it to...
We'll go to the election with another election policy around superannuation and lifting the retirement age for sure.
Newstalk ZB 10:31.
Newstalk ZB Auckland, time saver traffic.
SUV season starts with Mercedes-Benz Botany Discover plug-in hybrid SUVs. Now taking a look at the northern northbound moderate patch approaching the Harbour Bridge. Citybound it is slow at Upper Harbour. Northwestern moderate to heavy just after St Luke's. The southern and southwestern motorways are flowing well. Mercedes-Benz Botany offers 1.9% finance. Lending criteria, fees, T's and C's apply. Time saver traffic.
If your business needs a boost, a push in the right direction, or some shelter to get you through, Kiwibank can help with Fast Capital, the digital loan application with real-time decisions. It's the fuel for your rocket, the wind in your sails, and an umbrella in the rain that allows you to grow, expand, or provide a buffer for your business. Search Kiwibank Fast Capital to apply online today. This is Kiwi. Eligibility criteria, lending criteria, T's and C's and fees apply.
Kia ora Aotearoa. Good news. The starting age for the National Bowel Screening Program has dropped from 60 to 58 years old. You don't need to do anything. When you turn 58 or 59, you'll be sent a free bowel screening kit. Happy birthday. Even better, you'll get a free kit every 2 years until you turn 75. Bowel screening can find cancer early when it can often be successfully treated. It's free, quick and easy. Bowel screening saves lives. When you get your kit, just do it.
Boston Wardrobes are not just the name, you know. They've been Auckland's favourite bespoke wardrobe maker for over 35 years. They lead in design and deliver amazing. With 20 stunning wardrobe sets to inspire you, their showroom is a journey of wardrobe wow. So it better be a Boston, because you don't buy a wardrobe often.
For the one who's always been there, celebrate her with Pandora. Buy 2 full-price pieces and receive a third one free, just in time for Mother's Day. Offer ends 10th May, in store or online at pandora.net. Conditions and exclusions apply.
Your Volkswagen, Skoda or Holden deserves expert care, and at Giltrap Penrose, that's exactly what you'll get. Factory-trained technicians, genuine parts, and just 2 minutes from the Southern Motorway. Book at giltrap.com. We love cars.
Newstalk ZB headlines.
With Your Ride, New Zealand's #1 taxi app, download Your Ride today. The Ministry of Health is working with the World Health Organization to monitor the hantavirus situation abroad. At least 2 New Zealanders are caught up in the deadly cruise ship outbreak. Iran's state broadcaster is reporting several explosions in the Strait of Hormuz. It describes it as an exchange of fire between Iranian armed forces and the enemy. Job cuts are on the line at Air New Zealand in a reset announced this year. Our newsroom understands the proposals impact roughly a dozen senior roles. Motorists are being warned of surface flooding on part of the South Island's State Highway 6. That's between Makarora in Otago and Haast on the west coast. Irish pop group Westlife are set to return to New Zealand shores for the first time in 20 years as part of a 25th anniversary tour. The 2000s boy band will play Auckland's Spark Arena and Christchurch's Wolfbrook Arena in July next year. Anzac Test versus Super Rugby. Who really wins from the new fixture? Find out. Read Liam Napier's full column at nzherald.co.nz. Back to Kerre Woodham.
Thank you very much, Malcolm. It is 25 minutes to 11. Crikey, it goes quickly. Alan, a question from you.
Yes. Good morning, Kerry. Good morning, Chris.
Good to hear from you.
No, it's even better to hear from you. First off, congratulations on your Singapore and your deal with India. I think nobody's done that. It needs pumping up a lot higher than what it currently gets.
It's pretty exciting stuff, I'll be honest with you, because it's just jobs and incomes for New Zealanders, and it's just so exciting when you see that Indian deal in particular. I'm really excited about that.
Yes, fully agree. With Super, I think you should take the opportunity, and I think Peters might come on board, make it compulsory for the whole country. Flat. As soon as you leave school, you're in. First dollar you earn.
Yes, I think you're right, because what we've got to get our young people to understand, and it is actually happening, they're moving away from believing that the only way they make money is through property. Actually, the young people now with their Sharesies accounts are starting to understand if I make regular contributions every week, there's that dollar cost, there's that compounding value of interest that you get in investment that actually is actually very good for them. So I think we've got to get them to understand that, and you're dead right. If we can get them in earlier and get the value of that, by the time they get to retirement age, they've got a really great nest egg. And if we can lift the contribution rates at the same time, I think that'll make New Zealanders much more interested in investments other than just property as well.
Craig, a very good morning to you.
Good morning. Is that Kerre?
Yes, it is.
G'day, Craig.
Christopher Luxon, yeah.
Good morning, Fiscal.
How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. They were frustrating ever since that outgoing government, and I know you don't like poking the stick, but my question to you is, why do we not audit an outgoing government when they have unaccountable dollars spent?
Yeah.
I'm self-employed, and I have to tell you everything and show a receipt for everything that I do. Why not them?
Yeah.
Because it's just half of what I've done all my life.
Yeah, well, the closest we got to that, Craig, was actually the Royal Commission of Inquiry into COVID, and what that showed was the last government spent $66 billion. Half of it, they don't know where it went and what it was achieved for, and wasn't spent on COVID stuff, and we don't have any more schools, roads or hospitals as a consequence of that. The debt was tripled, and it put real pressure on New Zealand financially, and that's why we're having to fix up the books a bit like you with your accounting of your own business. And so, that's the reality of what we've inherited. I can complain and whinge about that, but the reality is I now own it, and I've got to fix it. And I may wish to have been dealt with different cards, but these are the ones I've been dealt with, and I've got to play, got to sort it out. So I agree with you. I think, but be under no illusions, if these guys get back in, man alive, they're going to spend more, tax more, borrow more, and that has put huge pressure on New Zealand's finances, as that Royal Commission of Inquiry highlighted pretty clearly.
Do you believe there's an issue with the homeless? A question says, what's your policy and plans for the homeless?
Well, I think we've put 300 more Housing First places available. We've put $10 million into immediately dealing with the homeless problem, particularly as we've seen it here in Auckland. We have Auckland City Council actually doing daily counts of the homeless, and I think we've done, if you think about housing, you've got to get housing affordability right. Otherwise, people don't own a house, they rent a house. If they can't rent, they end up on a state house wait list.
There's a million reasons why.
And then they end up homeless. It's very complex. There's often a range of issues. And what we have to do is be able to get those wraparound services around those individuals and work with the non-profit organisations as a result. But it's not just as simple as these people don't have houses. They have complex needs. Often it could be addiction issues, it could be mental health issues, it could be homeless, generally housing access as well. So I think, we've done, getting people out of emergency motel rooms, which was just ridiculous, has been really good. And we've got a lot of those people into proper, social housing, proper homes, particularly the families. When you're raising a family in a motel room, for goodness sake, for a year, that's utterly unacceptable. So on homelessness, we've opened up more Housing First places. They've been filled up. We're working very well, particularly with some of the non-profits, on getting them delivering on the contracts and the things that we pay them to do to make sure that they actually are getting people. And when you look at the Auckland City Council, homeless count, in different days, it's different dimensions, but it's been 25 to 35 people we're talking about downtown.
Margaret asks, if people can claim a percentage of what they give to a church, why can't you action tax rebates for people who are paying for private medical insurance? Because every operation we've had has saved the public system money.
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. The way that, and there's some pros and some cons about tax deductibility for private health insurance, and it's not quite as simple as it when you get into that issue. at the next level. But what I'm trying to do is use the capacity that's in the private system and the public system. So, for example, we've had a massive backlog built up over that 6 years on people who need first surgeries or elective surgeries. Think about cataracts, think about knee and hip replacements. The private system can actually often deliver that cheaper because they're sort of more of a factory of just churning those things through. And I'm happy to pay for that, and you don't care whether you're on your back of your bed looking at the ceiling, whether it's in a private or public hospital. But the issue about private insurance...
To come back to tax rebates.
Yeah, I think that's something we will think about again, but it's quite complicated because for a number of different reasons, which I don't want to go into, but quite technical as to how that actually works in practice.
So are you for it or against it?
I'm open to looking at it. I know Simeon Brown and I've talked about it, but I don't...
You're learning. That's a very political answer.
No.
CEO answer.
No, but there is real challenges with it. As you
don't want the unintended consequences.
Yeah, for example, in other countries, there's a whole different way in which they structure their public healthcare system that makes the private healthcare system tax rebate work. In New Zealand, we've got pretty universal access in our public system. You don't have Medicaid, or you don't pay. When you get to a certain income in Australia, for example, you end up making payments to the state essentially because your income's getting higher. That's offsetting your public health liability. So there's just a bunch of complexity in there. But I like the idea because I think the point is a really good one, which is you're taking pressure out of the public system. But my immediate focus is short term to say we've got all these frickin' backlogs and wait lists, and I've got to work my way through it pretty damn fast.
All right, we'll be back with a question from Richard in a moment. Newstalk ZB, it is 17 to 11.
Things are heating up at Giltrap, Skoda and Grey Lynn with every new fully electric L-Rock coming with a free Evernex wall charger valued at $799. Discover smart electric driving at giltrap.com. We love cars.
The Rayglass Boat Show is coming. Come and experience the exclusive launch of the all-new Rayglass 2400, alongside our award-winning Legend and Protector range, including our flagship 3500. The Rayglass Boat Show, 14th to 17th May, 7 Paisley Place, Mount Wellington.
Hi, my name is Murray. My wife Stephanie and I got our beautiful black lab Ernie a few years ago. He was the sweetest dog, but little did we know about his unfortunate hereditary issues. The vet bills over his short 6.5 years on Earth came to a staggering $15,000, but were covered by our pet insurance. Phone Pet Insure 0800 367 444.
Phone Pet Insure 0800 367 444.
Every young Kiwi deserves to play sport. The Hellberg Foundation is helping make that happen, and they want to help you do the same.
Here's your Hellberg hint. When it comes to disability, it's not always the words you use that matter the most. It's the intent behind them. Lead with genuine curiosity and care, and you'll rarely go wrong.
Download the Coachmate app and check out Hellberg Train, inclusion training, and make sport better for everyone.
At Meadowbank Village by Oceania, your loved one will receive care that feels comfortable and supportive, and you'll enjoy real peace of mind. Their experienced team provides expert rest home and hospital level care, with the added reassurance that secure dementia care is available if needed. With a limited number of care suites available now, it's a good time to explore your options. To learn more about care at Meadowbank, visit oceaniahealthcare.co.nz. Oceania, believe in better.
Thought you were getting your new hearing aids fitted today.
I did.
So why aren't you wearing them?
I am. Can't you tell?
Audica is excited to offer new Oticon Zeal, the world's first fast-charging, nearly invisible hearing aid with AI smart noise handling and Bluetooth connectivity. Enjoy better hearing for life with Audica. Find out more at audica.co.nz. Always read the label and follow the instructions.
Talkback with Christopher Luxon on Kerre Woodham Mornings with pinnaclelife.co.nz. Easy online life insurance. Call 0800 80 1080. Newstalk ZB.
All the big comments, all the big incisive comments. Kerre, just complimenting you on your makeup.
Isn't that nice? You said you put a lot of effort into the eyebrows in particular. So.
I had to borrow the eyebrow pencil from Chelsea, my colleague Chelsea Daniels. Thank God, otherwise I'd have looked like a mad professor. Big curly. Anyway, we don't need to go. We don't need to see how the sausage is made, do we? Hello,
I'd love curly hair, just for the record, Kerre.
I'll just say thank you very much to the texter. Richard, a very good morning to you. You're packing up to move to the UK.
Yeah, good morning, Kerre. Good morning, Prime Minister.
G'day, Richard.
We're over here at the moment. We've been here for the last 6-7 weeks and just scoping out just to see if this is where we want to call home.
Wow.
You go to the supermarket here and the cost of food and everything is so much cheaper than what we're paying back home. We talk to family, what they're paying in rates, what they're paying in insurances, is a small fraction of what we're paying back home. We can't afford to live back in New Zealand. We're earning over 200 grand in New Zealand, but we aren't having the quality of life that we should be having any longer. So we've made the choice that we've been over here, we've scoped the place out to look around what we've got. We're thinking of our retirement planning and what happens as we get older. There's so many more hospitals around that can look after us over here. You walk around the streets, the homelessness isn't there like we've got back home. You feel safer. People are happier. New Zealand's
in the UK, mate.
And they're voting reform and the Greens.
This is the UK, but look, people are happy here compared to New Zealand, and I think that's what needs to happen. The reality is that the members of Parliament in New Zealand are so far removed from the general Joe Blogs like us that are workers there and paying our taxes and trying to do our best. You don't know what it's like to live there anymore. We can't afford to live in the country that we love and adore. And that's it. We're going to pack up and leave. We can't afford to stay there anymore. It's just too expensive. It's really hard, but that's reality. Because it's got everything that we want.
Okay,
everything is here.
Chacun a son goût and all that, each to their own taste.
Yeah, look, I mean, I know the UK is in a pretty tough place relative to New Zealand, and having visited there and having lived there myself and knowing how expensive housing is and transportation and a bunch of things, and I think about some of the challenges when I've spoken to their Prime Minister that they're dealing with in that country. I'd put it to you, I'd sooner be leader of New Zealand than the leader of the UK. The only thing I'd say to you is that in the last year we've had an 18% growth in Kiwis returning home, and we've had less Kiwis leaving each month than since I think the last year of Hipkins. So I think, and I get it because, there was, when New Zealand goes through tough times, people actually do look for other places where they think that if they work hard they can get ahead. What we have to do and what we're working hard to do is to rebuild back the proposition that if you work hard in New Zealand, you should be able to get ahead. We're having to deal with getting inflation down, interest rates down, spending down. No, I get it. And, but you've also got to be safe in terms of a country. I think we've made some good progress on law and order. Your kids actually need to get a world-class education. Your parents need to be able to get good health care. So that is the work of our government, is to make sure that we are building a proposition that actually, Kiwis actually feel there is a great future here. And when I see an 18% growth in Kiwis returning home, because it turns out, housing in Australia is a lot more expensive. It turns out actually it is a more competitive market in terms of some of the jobs that are going on. It turns out they do have higher levels of inflation. So I understand your frustration about it, and certainly you're right. Cost of living, whether it's insurance, rates, food. We've had a series of we had 32-year high inflation that was locked in for a number of years, and so it's expensive.
Can't afford to live here on 200k. I think that's a you problem, not a country problem, says a texter.
Well, I just say I think New Zealand's position is much better than the UK's position.
I wouldn't. UK wouldn't be my first choice. But then I'm not Richard. Stop screening your calls, you tart. Let people tell. I used to be a tart. Tart retired. And let people tell him what New Zealand really thinks of him. Well, you ignorant numpty, I don't screen the calls, so more fool you. And the text machine is here, and I'll pass all that on to Christopher Luxon at the end. Now, there was a text here about being overrun by Indians. Indians everywhere.
Yeah, can we talk about that?
What are you going to do about those?
Yeah, because I know there's been a lot of scaremongering about the Indian FTA, particularly around immigration, and that is so wrong. Absolutely wrong. The deal that we have done is a very reasonable deal, and we have total control over the immigration settings in this country. No, we're going to be flooded with Indians.
It's
not true. It's just not true, because here's the situation. We came to power, there was 135,000 net migration into New Zealand, so we had too much migration going on.
Of Indians?
No, of total migration. We've got 25,000 today net migration, and how have we done that? We've moved it from 70% low skilled to 70% high skilled in the 2 and a bit years. We have made sure our immigration settings are smart, they're targeted, they're quite tight. We've got rights and responsibilities, we have enforcements, exploitation, a whole bunch of things that we've done. We've got this green list where we might need Philippine welders, a couple of years ago. We may not need that now, but we might need something else. And it's a very dynamic shift. So we link our immigration to our economic strategy and also to our infrastructure. And when you look at the UK with, 1,000 illegal immigrants coming in a day.
It's the illegal immigrants that cause problems. Not
what
the
Trump's
people who
dealing
apply.
with in the US situation. New Zealand's actually and we've done a very good job, I think, of tightening things up in the last few years.
Where do most of our migrants come from?
Well, they come from all over the world, actually. I mean, we've had this active investor visa where we've said if you're prepared to come to New Zealand and invest $5 or $10 million and put it into a proper business, not a house, but into a business, that's the only thing you can do. Well, we've had $4 billion raised that way from about 600 people, 40% of them American, 20% German. There's been a huge influx of people from all over the world. But I just want to say our immigrant community, they leave their home, their family, their work, their culture, their language. They come to New Zealand because they believe there's a better future for this country. They work 2 or 3 jobs, often to get a deposit for a house or a business.
Yep.
They send their kids to school because they value education. They don't go on welfare because they believe in work. And they are some of the most aspirational, ambitious, positive people we have in this country.
Just as our forebears were when they came here.
Exactly as my forebears were from Ireland or from Scotland.
And
same thing.
We've had people from India here, China here.
Yeah, but it's very easy to scapegoat. But I just would say, on the one hand, they've been great Kiwis that they've built, and they've added something to New Zealand, and they've done. But equally, we've also been very smart with our immigration settings, so we don't end up in the situation that we've seen in other countries around the world.
And we don't want boom bust like we've had here.
No, we've just got to keep it consistent, moderate, and we link everything to the vacancies that we've got in our economy and the jobs shortages that we have.
Newstalk ZB, it is 8 to 11.
Now is the time to secure your place at Franklin Village by Oceania, with only a limited number of Stage 1 villas still available. Set in peaceful Pukekohe, you'll discover brand new 2-bedroom villas offering a relaxed country club lifestyle from only $1.12 million. You can enjoy a cafe, bar, pool, spa, private cinema and so much more. But don't delay, Stage 1 is almost gone. Visit franklinvillage.co.nz and secure your dream retirement today. Oceania, believe in better.
Always read the label and take as directed. Sleep Drops Auckland.
Your body depends on magnesium every single day for hundreds of essential reactions, but not all magnesium works the same. Magnesium glycinate 10 from Sleep Drops delivers 10 synergistic forms, completely oxide-free, intentionally formulated to reflect real cellular demand. Now in capsules for flexible dosing. Support sleep, recovery, brain and heart health, and daily energy with magnesium glycinate 10 capsules. Thanks, Sleep Drops.
Global fuel prices are impacting Kiwis, so these easy tips could help you stretch up to 20% more from every tank and make your money go further. First, watch your speed so it doesn't creep up. Try to accelerate gently and avoid braking too hard. Check your tyre pressure regularly and lighten the load like roof racks or weight from your boot. These small changes all add up to make a real difference. Learn more at fuelsavingtips.govt.nz.
Reckon you're in with a sporting chance? You could be, thanks to TAB and Weekend Sports. Join Jason Pine this Saturday. Be caller number 5 when you hear the cue to call. Select your choice from Piney's Picks and we'll place a $150 TAB bonus bet on your selection. If your bet lands, the winnings are all yours. Be in with a sporting chance and TAB this Saturday just after 2 on Weekend Sport, only on Newstalk ZB. T's and C's apply. R18. Bet responsibly.
The Cupra demo sale is on now at Giltrap, Cupra, Grey Lynn and North Shore. Save up to $10,000 plus a $2,000 fuel voucher with any petrol demo. Limited stock now at giltrap.com. We love cars.
Link has helped business owners sell confidently and confidentially for 30 years. Their expert brokers know how to position your business, reach serious buyers and deliver proven results you can trust. Contact Link Business Brokers today. Licensed REAA 2008.
Newstalk ZB, that's it. Gosh, it goes quickly, doesn't it? I'm so sorry. We've got a load of other questions. We might have to save the marification ones for next time, or for David Seymour, given it's his particular bugbear.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's I get it. There's been a challenging time. We're all over it. We've had so many things that we're just wrestling with and dealing with that keep coming into our frame. But having just been travelling even over the weekend, I've got to tell you, I'd sooner be in New Zealand than anywhere else. We are bang smack in the middle of the most dynamic part of the world. We've got abundant resources, we've got good democratic institutions, and we've got incredible people. So even as challenging as it is out there in the world with Trump and all the tariffs and the wars in Iran and all the things that we're dealing with, man, I'd say New Zealand's got a great future still. And I know it's hard and it's been difficult, but we can get through this and get to the other side.
I really hope so.
Oh, I know so.
But I certainly wouldn't be going to the UK. When the sun goes down at 4, that used to crush my soul.
The low point for me was sort of the sun would go down at 3:30 over winter, and you got a 2-year-old and a baby you've just taken to the park, and then the 2-year-old throws a tantrum, and I just remember walking back from Wimbledon Park back to my house carrying a scooter, a 2-year-old who was having a tantrum,
a snotty nose,
and it was all dark, and going back to our 2 up 2 down sort of terrace house, not be able to find my car because I'd parked it several blocks away from the house because there wasn't any garage, or so I get it. Look, we've got challenges here at home, and there are challenges all around the world, and everyone's frustrated around the world. But I'd sooner be a Kiwi and be living here.
And you chose?
Oh, Sam Fender. He is the British Bruce Springsteen with Olivia Dean.
That's a bold call, Prime Minister.
Oh no, he's awesome. Go listen to Sam Fender.
I have not heard of Sam Fender. Feat Olivia Dean.
Featuring Olivia Dean, great singer. She's awesome.
There she is. And Rain Me In.
Rain Me In. This great duet from both of them.
Oh, let you go on the loose rain. All right, thank you very much, Prime Minister. Look forward to catching up in a couple of weeks.
See you soon. Take care.
No, a couple of months, won't it be?
Yeah. No, thanks again for the opportunity to talk. Appreciate it.
Did you know Diamond Fusion Glass Defender doesn't only make shower glass easy to keep sparkling clean? Balustrades, windows, pool fences, even auto and marine windscreens can be protected by Diamond Fusion Glass Defenders. Coating your glass cuts the time and cost of cleaning. Find out more and get in touch at diamondfusion.co.nz. If they say it's like Diamond Fusion, it's not Diamond Fusion.
Spend an hour cleaning your shower. Do it in a minute.